Good morning. It is Monday morning. In Guam, it's 9 a.m. In the stateside, Hawaii, it is 1 p.m. I thank you guys for joining me. I want to know if you're joining live or if you're watching on replay. Right now, there's nobody on here, but that's okay. I know some people start to trickle in as I start doing my live, but I want to talk about if you're eating too much, too little, or if you're eating enough. And before I get into that, I want to remind you again, this is just purely educational. This does not substitute for a direct consultation with either your doctor or a registered dietitian that you already have. So keep that in mind. Well, why I felt this was really important to talk about now is because we are heading in to the holiday season. And last week I talked already about how we are getting into a lot of candies or sugar, chocolate, added sugar foods all around. Chocolates, sweet, sour candies in every corner of your working place. And I think, again, encouraging you to know that it's okay for it to be around. So I really hope that you guys have been doing better, or just knowing that those foods are going to be around. So in the same sense, we're always going to have a holiday. We're always going to have Christmas, Kwanzaa, the New Year's. We're always going to have these really big events coming up every year. It's not going to be any different. And I think I always hear this time around that a lot of people just, oh man, they feel so full after all their meals, or they're so tired and they just want to take a nap. And then they have these 2-3 big dinners or meals or special occasions, and then they start walking on into the new year and they feel like, oh, okay, I need to change my eating habits. I need to restrict. I need to lose weight. I need to do all these things. So I think this is such a great topic to talk about because we are heading into these months. And what else? Yep, I think that was it. Hi, whoever you are. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so I'm going to get into it, and I'm going to first talk about eating too much. And I'm going to do this a little differently, and I'll talk about how eating too much will affect your physical and then also your emotional health. So you can't deny it. When you've eaten too much, you just feel so uncomfortable. I've gone to buffets and I'm like, man, I need to unbuckle my pants, or I just want to go to sleep, or just like really, really uncomfortable in your stomach, like you can't breathe. So that is really one of the physical effects of eating too much. On the emotional aspect, you may have this tendency to feel bad or guilty. And it stresses you out because you feel like, oh man, I've eaten too much. What am I going to do now? I feel so bad. I shouldn't have eaten that last bit of chocolate cake, but I did anyway. So it really taps into your mind and you feel like, okay, you're stressed or you don't know what to do. Or on the other end, you start feeling like, now I need to start eating less. So that brings me to my next point. If you're eating too little, you can be affected in a physical way. Your stomach starts to growl. You might have low concentration. You might have low energy. You just feel like a hungry ass person and you're angry because you're so darn hungry, right? The term hangry. So physical, that is one aspect of the effect of not eating enough. And then on the social aspect, sometimes you may feel like you don't want to go out to eat, or you don't want to hang out with people because there's going to be food around. So you're so stressed out that if you go, you're going to eat too much. So you kind of just text your friend and say, hey, I'm skipping out on our girls' night out, or I'm skipping out on this event because there's not going to be food that I can eat that's going to be healthy, or whatever the reason is. With your emotional, again, it just really messes up your stress level, because you're feeling like, okay, because now I'm on this diet plan, now I'm on this fad diet, I need to only eat what they say. And you're just stressed out because you're feeling like, oh man, I need to start losing this weight before the new year comes, or I'm not gonna feel good about myself when I look in the mirror because I ate all that food. So there's so many different aspects that affect your emotional, as I did your physical, your social, and emotional. Now, if you're eating enough, you can just feel really happy because you've eaten the foods that you wanted and you stopped at a decent point. Socially, you enjoy going to see your friends and family, whether it's at restaurants or if you just see them on a weekend. You're not worried about, okay, gosh, what am I going to eat? You're just like, hey, I'm going to eat what I want and I'm going to enjoy it. And physically, you just feel content. You feel very satisfied. You feel comfortable. Okay, so where do you fall in those three aspects? Do you find yourself eating too little throughout the week, where you just loss of energy, loss of concentration, you just stress all the time? Are you eating too much, where you feel like you have to unbuckle your pants, you're out of breath, you want to go take a nap, you have low energy, you're very sluggish? Or are you that person that eats like just the right amount of food? Let me know what kind of eater you are. And I always want to remind you folks that, if you are you may be a little bit of everything. Sometimes there's times where you're going to eat a lot. There's times where you're going to not eat enough, or there's times where you're going to eat just right. And never feel like I'm placing you or you're placing yourself in categories like, oh man, I eat way too much on some days. Oh man, I eat too little. Never feel that way, because that's one of my biggest goals and missions, is to help people see that, you can take the morality out of things when it comes to eating foods, because you can eat the foods you love and still be healthy and fit it into your healthy lifestyle. Okay, let me just get to my points. So this talk really was about awareness, and I will go into later videos on how to combat this, or how to kind of help with whatever you're struggling with, whether you're eating too much or too little. But really, what can you do? I think the biggest thing is awareness. And I talk about this before. I've talked about this, that awareness creates change. Before you even start changing your habits, before you even start deciding you need to eat more or you need to eat less, you have to become aware of the situation. So I like to encourage you to become aware of when your body is telling you that it's hungry. I want you to become aware of when your body is telling you that it's full, or it's approaching becoming extremely full. How can you know? Everybody has a different signal to tell them if they've eaten too much. So what's yours? Is it you have to unbuckle your belt, your pants? Do you feel more comfortable wearing those stretchy pants because you want to feel you want to be able to feel comfortable? Do you feel distended? Does your abdomen or your stomach feel very distended? Or do you feel bloated after meals? Also, do you feel like you want to take a nap, or you're just out of breath? On the other side, if you're not eating enough, listen to what this feels like to you. Have you already skipped like 2 meals of the day because for whatever reason it is? Are you just ignoring that stomach? It's telling you, hey, I'm really hungry, and it's growling. Are you the person that is in your working place and your stomach is growling so loud? Listen to those type of things. I'm going to just get to my points. Look at my notes that I have, because I don't want to miss this. If you've eaten enough, do you have stomach growling? Do you have a headache? Are you lightheaded? Are you grumpy? Are you feeling shaky or weak? If you do have, diabetes, then this may be very common to you. Do you have poor concentration? That is something to keep in mind. To pay attention to, become aware of if you're not eating enough. Yep, okay. Also, other things that you can do is, this one's really great. Awareness. Ask why you're eating. This is really great because when I found this out, it was like a light bulb. If you are eating something, you got to ask yourself, are you really hungry? Are you just eating because you want to stuff your face? Are you eating because you're bored? Are you eating because your meal plan or your fad diet is telling you to eat? You have to eat at 9 a.m. You have to eat at 12. You have to eat at 2 p.m. Are you doing it based on a routine? The clock says it's lunchtime. Oh, I gotta eat. So those type of things. Is it a habit for you? 7 p.m. rolls around, you've already finished eating dinner, you turn on Netflix, you turn on the TV, you turn on the nightly news. Is it a habit for you to go and now grab some chips or popcorn, ice cream, whatever it is, and you just eat right in front of the TV? Cultural reasons. Are you eating because you don't want to feel rude because someone offered you food? That is very common in Asian Pacific cultures. Whenever we're offered food, we just tend to eat because we don't want to offend the host, and that's okay. Are you stressed out? Do you often look to food to calm you down or to help cope with whatever is bothering you? Is it a celebration? Are you eating because you had an A on your test? Is it date night? Are you celebrating your daughter's baptism? Are you celebrating graduation? Are you rewarding yourself for accomplishing something? Again, this goes along with, passing the test. Did you get your driver's license? What is it? I feel like those are really questions to ask yourself. Why are you eating at this specific moment? Okay. Another thing, couple things that you can do, two more things, is just envision how you want to feel. This sounds weird. This sounds different, I guess I should say. It's not weird, but it's different because sometimes we may not have that time to sit down and really enjoy a meal because our life is go, go, go. We're very busy. But if you do have those moments to spare and you can take a deep breath, and if you do like to pray or express some gratitude before your meal, you can think and reflect, how do I want to feel after eating this meal? Do you want to feel energized after eating this meal? Do you want to feel soothed? Let's say you're sick and you want that bowl of chicken noodle soup. Do you want to feel cooled because it was really hot outside and you want to really drink a nice smoothie? Think of the different words that you want to feel after you eat. This may, again, be something that you don't do all the time, but this can be a question that you ask yourself when you have the time. And one of the biggest things is just allowing yourself, giving yourself permission to eat. This is the biggest thing, because I see it a lot, and as much as I want to help everybody, I know I can't, but I do feel like a lot of the reason why people tend to eat more sometimes is because they're in this constant restriction cycle. So what I mean by that is they restrict so much to the point that they break the restriction because they miss that food, and then they end up eating not just what they wanted to eat or what they're missing, they end up eating a lot more. And then this is a mentality, like I might as well mentality. Oh man, I broke my diet or I ruined it, so I might as well eat everything else already. Go hard or go home. Go big or go home. What's the what's the phrase that people say? So once they've hit that mentality, then they're like feeling bad and stressed, and then they want to go back and restrict. So again, just give yourself permission to enjoy the food that you want. Even if it's just a little sliver, even if it's just a little bite, at least you were able to eat that food and then move on, go about your day. I really hope that this talk, this live spoke to you. If it did, let me know what resonated with you. Let me know in the comments. Again, if you are a person that eats too much, too little, if you eat enough, or are you a combination of everything? Okay? Cheers, you guys. Take care. Bye.